what is deep breathing and what does it actually look like, okay? Or what do we mean by that? Because, well, everyone knows how to breathe, obviously, because if not, we would just die. However, the breathing system is not just to have you survive. It's a whole system connected to all kinds of things. It's connected to your muscular system by the inner core muscles, as we already talked about in this video lessons. It is also connected to your psychological well-being, because if you breathe deeply, you will stimulate what we call the vagus nerve, which is responsible to calm down the fight or flight response, okay? So it will help you to relax and just to feel better, to be in a little bit more emotionally stable state of mind. So if you know how to deep breathe, it not only gets you physically strong, it also can help you mentally, like to a degree you might not even think possible. So when we say, when somebody is upset and we say, just sit down, just take a deep breath, this literally will calm down anybody. However, the problem is, for most people, sadly, our body knows how to deep breathe. We are born with that, but we forget because our lives get busy, things happen and whatnot. So we forget, our body forgets how to deep breathe. So it goes into shallow breathing patterns that just allow it to survive, but not to thrive. So, okay, there's the difference. Now, if you sit down, if you're in an emotional upset state of mind, or you know what I mean, like we all have those moments where we're like, ugh, and you sit down and you take a couple of deep breaths, if they are really deep breath, not what you think is a deep breath, but truly deep breath, which you will learn in this course, then you will tap into that mental, emotional system of your brain and calm your brain down. It works, it absolutely, totally works 100%. However, it needs to be a true deep breath. It cannot be like something like that. It has to be a true deep breath that expands your lungs, expands your low back, and goes all the way down, expanding your pelvic floor, okay? Relaxing everything down. The whole entire system needs to be able to relax from here to here, okay? The diaphragm has to work properly. The diaphragm has to be strong to take deep inhales. And then I guarantee this technique will work to calm you down. Anybody? So, yes, back to the topic. How breathing is supposed to work, or what it's supposed to look like. Okay, breathing, what you do is, okay, you inhale, and when you inhale, you have this little muscle, or it's actually quite a big muscle, that's called the diaphragm. The diaphragm kind of lines the inside of your rib cage, and it's actually a sheath of muscle. It's not very thick, but it's very it covers a big area. It covers the inside of your rib cage, right? So, and then it is here. It is in a dome-shaped. It's dome-shaped. It kind of sits here a little bit like this. Okay. Now, when you inhale deeply. Your inhale is going to push down. You imagine this as a dome shape, okay? So it's going to push down on your diaphragm, and your diaphragm is going to flatten out. So it's kind of like, if that's your diaphragm, right? And then I inhale up, the inhale pushes down on it, and it flattens out like this, okay? So now imagine if you have something that's sitting here like this, and then it goes down and gets pushed down, you already can see how this creates pressure, right? Downwards, okay? This is what creates intra-abdominal pressure. So now the diaphragm is pushes down, and it causes a chain reaction, okay, which causes all of this to expand, even your low back, okay, everything. And then it goes even further, and it pushes down your pelvic floor. Now, pushing down on your pelvic floor does not mean that you are forcing your pelvic floor to be pushed down. It just means that the pelvic floor expands and relaxes. Your pelvic floor needs to be able to completely relax with your inhale, okay? This is what your inhale does. Then, when you exhale, starting with your pelvic floor, like when you do Kegel, right? all those muscles are going to contract one after the next. First the pelvic floor, then the transverse abdominis, and then your inner obliques, okay, will contract, and they not just contract, but they also lift, okay, and then they lift up and they cause the diaphragm to go from a flattened state back into a dome shape, okay, and this is what happens with each breath you take, or what should be happening, okay. So this is what a true deep breathing pattern looks like. And next we are going to go together through a breathing assessment, so you can look at yourself, at your own breathing, and find out where are your sticky points, because we all have a certain sticky point. Like, it's different for everyone. For some, they kind of get stuck up here in the ribs. Others cannot expand their back, and others just cannot, for the life of them, relax their pelvic floor, okay? So everyone has their little sticky points, we call them, and you want to find those sticky points out. And I will provide you in this course with exercises specific to each sticking point, and then you can do the general breathing exercises, of course, and then you can pick those that you need or that will work for you, and continue to do those, okay, until you feel you get over the sticking point. And then at some point your body is just going to be like, oh yeah, this is how it works, right? And you will just be able to deep breathe. Every breath you take is going to be a deep breath, and it will get easier. First you have to focus really, really, really hard, okay? And not every breath will be a deep breath, but if you just stop during your day and just think about it, and then take 6 deep breaths, and then just go on your day, and then take another 6 deep breaths, and just think about it. The thinking about it alone is going to jumpstart this breathing pattern, because as I said, we all know how to breathe, how to deep breathe. We are born with that. We just lose it. So it is not as much of a question as to, you know, train your body to move the right way, but remind it, okay? Like, wake it up, be like, hey, can you wake up? Can you just get home from vacation? Can you just start working for me again? And once you start thinking about it, your body will eventually say, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. And then it will just kick in, okay? So it'll take a lot of focus, awareness, and diligence in the beginning. But it will get easier and easier, and then one day it's going to be automatic, and you're not even going to think about it. And that is the moment where you can start building, and if you wish, and if you want to do so, get really, really, really strong.